Welcome. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy these paintings I put up. Joey puts a post for us in the beginning. He's one of my favorite painters. And if you look closely at it, you see the details of what it's like to live in a Flemish village in the 1500s. And you see the interaction of the community. You see there's a certain organic wholeness to it. They were just coming out of the Dark Ages. We may be just going into one. California's burning. People are dying in a worldwide pandemic that we haven't seen since maybe 100 years, since there's been something of this global magnitude. The ice is melting, the fires are burning, and it's all what we saw coming. It's here now. But what's also here now is this movement for social justice. And this feeling that's in the air now is something I never thought I'd experience again. It reminds me of the 60s, when social justice, we called it civil rights, against the war, pro-environment, came together into a counterculture. The difference between then and now is that then our grandparents weren't getting stoned and dancing or into organic or even heard of organic. Our grandparents never heard of organic. Everything was organic. So the world changes, and yet some cycles repeat themselves. And I never thought I'd see this cycle of uprising that happens at the generational shift and the world shift. And this time it's happening on a global level. I never thought I'd see it. But that is our opportunity to fully participate on the side of love. And the way we fully participate on the side of love is by being a hero. This is the time for heroes. When I was a kid in my first encounter in the civil rights movement, going to Alabama, I had never done anything like that before. But it was something that, in retrospect, I would say was a heroic act, although I certainly didn't feel like or act like a hero. I just got on a bus because I was called to. But it was in itself a heroic act, only because I had that opportunity. And that opportunity hasn't been available so much for a long time. But now it's generational, it's pulsing. There's something alive, and we can all be heroes. We can all be heroes by being heroic. And the way we are heroic, what is a hero? A hero is someone willing to sacrifice the personal to the greater good, to save a village or to save a friend or to do something extraordinary because it's the right thing or because of love or because it's just the natural impulse of goodness. That's our time now. And we all participate. Participate doesn't necessarily mean being on the street. If you're called to be on the street, be on the street. If you're not called to be on the street, don't be on the street. There's no shoulds. But your heart will compel you to listen. And when your heart compels you to listen, the quieter you are, the more naturally you will arise and fulfill your slot. We each have some slot that's just chance, the particular circumstances in each one of our mind-body projections gives each one of us a unique opportunity to stand up and be free. Now, one of the great traps that I see that's happening is the trap of the conspiracy theory. And there's no doubt that Russian influence is spreading conspiracy theories to spread disunity. So now, what is it about conspiracy theories? First of all, fascists always use conspiracy theories. So the Nazi propaganda, producing the protocols of Zion, showing the Zionist plot to take over the world, or the conspiracy theory that the Rothschilds and the Jews control all the banks. And if only that were true, I would be a much wealthier man. So, but these conspiracy theories get spread through the population, and we catch them. They're memes. And some of us are more susceptible to these memes. So if you look at our country, conspiracy theories were really not on the horizon. They weren't in the surface. Nobody was talking about them until John Kennedy's assassination. That ended the peak of the American empire, and it was clearly a conspiracy. It was a cover-up, there's no doubt. How it happened, I have no idea. But did it happen the way they said it happened? Clearly couldn't. So then, that first seedling of doubt about the established order starts a split. And out of that split came the counterculture and the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement and psychedelics that widened that split into a whole cultural movement. Reagan became the counter-revolution to that. So the counter to communes is selfishness. And Reagan brings in money is good. It's good to be rich. And he changes the tax code. So instead of the wealthiest being at the 70% level, they get knocked down to the 35th percent level. And in order to cover the gap for that, Reagan starts taxing Social Security. That's the start of the break of our country's collective solidarity. And now that it's broken apart, and it starts from there, Trump couldn't have happened without Reagan. Trump couldn't have happened without Bush. And Bush destroyed our morality as an integrity of a culture on the world stage, and Trump is destroying it on the national stage. All of that breaking apart happens quite naturally. Every empire rises and falls. But in these cracks, in these moments of breaking apart where the future is unknown, where clearly the old order is changing, there's an opportunity. An opportunity to realize the truth of yourself and stay true to your own realization. Nothing can be imposed from the outside. Nothing can be coerced when you know the truth of yourself. That's the heroic stand that you can take. Now, recently I posted something by Representative OAC, you must all know her, and someone replied on my Facebook feed, "Isn't that your opinion? I thought enlightened people don't have opinions." So I asked him if that was his opinion, that enlightened people don't have opinions. See, waking up doesn't mean not being fully incarnate. When you're fully incarnate, the absolute and the relative there is no distinction. So of course, there is the relative and there is the absolute, and you don't confuse them. You don't use one to deny the other, which is a spiritual trap that I see people falling into. It doesn't matter, it's all one. As a way of dropping down to the absolute truth as a concept to deny the relative truth. So, conspiracy theories, our president of the United States is a conspiracy theorist. It started when he had a conspiracy theory about Obama's birth certificate. How someone who starts like that becomes president and continues his conspiracy theories shows the degradation of the quality of life that's in America, that could happen. So the great trap of conspiracy theories that I see, it gets rooted in people in our culture because it seems that there's some oppressive, evil power behind the scenes manipulating it. There isn't. It's randomness, organized into certain patterns that gain momentum and have inertia and lose momentum. And when those patterns create a meme, they get passed around from mouth to ear, or from eyeball to eyeball. They get passed around, and we catch them like a virus. A meme is a viral infection. In most cases, it's benign. So, being an old man, the first meme that I've used was the black kids in the ghetto turning their baseball hat from the front to the back. That was a statement. It was a statement of cultural unity, of uniqueness, of non-whiteness. And pretty soon it spread as a meme. And I saw, kids in Germany wearing their hats that way, without having the cultural context. But the meme itself perpetuates itself. So when I say it's a virus, just consider do you ever have a piece of music or a song that gets stuck and keeps replaying and you can't get rid of it, and you have to really just stop or do a mantra or whatever because a little virus is caught? Well, that's a meme. Now that's a very simple meme. That's like a little viral one-cell thing. But there are very complex memes. Religion is a meme. So if you are caught in the religious meme, there'll be a certain context for conspiracy theories because you will be believing in something that isn't real. And once you believe in something that isn't real, whether you call it God or Jesus or whatever it is that is made up, that comes from a story, you're open to believing other stories that aren't real. And we know that the Russian disinformation campaign is to spread memes of disunity, memes of conspiracy. So, when I came to Ashland, there was a whole thing about chemtrails. What are they secretly spraying on us as these jets go over and leave these white streaks in the sky? I mean, there probably still is. People who are afraid of the unknown and project some intelligent, negative, evil force behind it. So that's something we have to be aware of in ourselves. The different memes that we've been virally infected with that just seem like reality. I mean, everybody knows the Jews control the banks. Someone just said that to me recently. None of the banks I know. Anyway, so this is your time. This is our time. It's a precious time. This is the time that calls forth your soul. This is the time to be moved by love, compassion. And that love and compassion manifests itself in a certain solidarity with community. Egoically, community is used as a trap. When the ego identifies communally, it's for its own self-motivated safety, security, prestige, power, all the different egoic motivations that cause us to become entranced in the net of community, family. And so to untangle from that is to cut free from it all. To really not be trapped in any form. Then form naturally reappears. As you, as immortal consciousness, incarnate back into the mind-body mechanism that gave rise to this possibility.